Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Floyd County has reopened its public parks to help ease the anxiety of the pandemic, but urges people to not use it as an excuse for mass gatherings. And we talk with folks at one Laurel County butcher shop about their thoughts on the current worries regarding a potential national meat shortage.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Katie Cook. It is Wednesday, May the 13th, and the time is about 5:31. Let's check in with Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. Brandon, don't worry, I'm going to say it with you one more day until we see sunshine and warmer weather, and I just can't wait for it.
Listen, all of us across the mountains are so excited for an 80-degree temperature showing up, especially after 4 record-breaking cold mornings and even some record-breaking colder days. Let's take a look and see what's going on this morning. Unfortunately, we're seeing some showers. Kind of a dreary Wednesday on tap, but just hang in there. 24 more hours and we'll be in better shape. You see that's going to continue off and on throughout the morning and throughout the day, unfortunately. Buffalo Mountain still pretty quiet this morning. The rain not in some areas just yet. We're going to continue to watch that trend as we head deeper into the daytime hours. We're going to continue to see temperatures running in the 40s and 50s for most of us now. Northern parts of Kentucky, northeastern Kentucky, back toward West Virginia there. A little colder because they didn't have all the cloud cover that we had down this way. 37 in Huntington this morning. That's our cold spot. I'd say Ashland's pretty close to that too. Day planner, it's going to be a slow climb today thanks to cloud cover and rain chances. I'll have the rest of the forecast coming up here in a little bit. Katie?
All right, Brandon, thank you. There are still a lot of questions for investigators in Rockcastle County after a young child and adult were found shot dead. Kentucky State Police have identified the adult as 52-year-old Ricky McClure. Nick Oliver has more from police.
The investigation is one Kentucky State Police say is a hard one to see and to handle.
We have one small juvenile and we have an adult male.
Trooper Scotty Pennington says dispatchers received a call around 2 p.m. They would find that man and the child both dead from a gunshot wound.
There's a lot of people trying to figure out what went wrong in Castle Village today, and it's just a sad situation. And it's something that these officers, no matter who you work for, the state police, sheriff's department, or Broadhead, or wherever, there's things we don't like to come and see.
Their investigation shows an arrest is not likely in this case, but they are still conducting a normal investigation. There's lots of neighbors in this apartment complex, and what we have seen is Kentucky State Police begin to make their rounds, questioning some to see if they heard or saw anything leading to those shots.
There will be no stone that they don't overturn to make sure they know the whole story of why this happened. And hopefully, in the near future that we'll find that out.
Trooper Pennington says a family did live in that home. However, a relation between the two victims has not been released. In Rockcastle County, Nick Oliver, WYMT Mountain News.
KSP was at the scene through much of yesterday evening. The name of the child has not yet been released. A grand jury will hear a Bell County murder case. Police arrested Wade Hewitt earlier this month. He is accused of killing his brother in Bell County. Hewitt faces a murder charge and is being held on a $250,000 cash bond. It is unclear what led up to the incident. And meanwhile, a Clay County grand jury will hear a shooting case. Timmy Madden faces a charge of first-degree assault. Investigators say Madden and his brother were arguing over tools. When police arrived, they found the brother shot in the head, and he was flown to the University of Kentucky Hospital for his injuries. Just more than a month ago, more than 60,000 people were in the dark after a round of strong winds swept through eastern Kentucky. At Fishtrap Lake in Pike County, a near 90-mile-per-hour wind gust came through and tore the East Kentucky Marina apart. With sections of their docks still dismantled and only able to be reached by boat, the path to rebuilding is long.
We've buttoned this down as much as we can to save the boats and make sure that they're safe and everything, but there's no repairs that can be done over here. So we're focusing our time and efforts on keeping this afloat while everything else, all the paperwork and all that stuff gets done.
Thomas plans to have a portable bait shop open in the next week and construction complete by August. Floyd County has reopened its public parks to help ease the anxiety of the pandemic. Judge Executive Robbie Williams says he believes the parks will benefit people who have been stuck at home, providing a chance to get some fresh air and a change of scenery as the pandemic continues. But he says the decision to open the parks does not mean the county wants mass gatherings to begin.
We don't want folks going out to the parks and having birthday parties, inviting 20, 30 family members, things of that nature. This is just an opportunity for people to get out and walk, let the kids play a little bit and get out and enjoy the weather.
Williams says people should still maintain their distance and consider bringing their own disinfectants as an extra measure if they plan to use playground equipment. One industry impacted by COVID-19 is the meat market. You have probably seen empty meat shelves or limits on what you can buy. WYMT's Madison program takes us to a local butcher shop in Laurel County that is still serving its customers.
I got a beef roast and I got chicken breast and some ground beef.
A list of meat is what many people have in hand when they come to CMP Butcher Shop in London.
And all we're trying to do is get through the masses and trying to get it where it evens back out again so we can do business as usual.
The meat shortage is affecting grocery stores and restaurants. It is also impacting people trying to buy it.
Plenty of animals, plenty of hogs, plenty of beef. The problem is trying to get them slaughtered and cut.
Tony Thorpe, the owner of the local store, says it's all about simple economics, or more importantly, supply and demand.
Probably why we have meat and other places don't have meat at this point in time, because we do our own packaging when other places rely on the package to be already there when they get it at the store and just put it on the shelf.
People such as Andrea Bells, she lined up outside the store just to attempt to purchase what the store does have on its shelves.
And that's why I'm trying, like, every time I'm out to try to grab some things so that, you know, that I'll have a pretty good stock in case prices do go up or there becomes a shortage.
While there are additional safety measures in place, the goal of the store remains the same, to serve its customers and community.
I have bought up a lot of meat. I have a lot of meat on hand, and I'm trying to keep the prices reasonable where people can feed their children.
As they continue to work day in and out to put meat on people's plates. In London, Madison Pergram, WYMT Mountain News.
Thorpe says that he thinks the market will get tougher in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Yesterday was the 12th Fire Summit and the first 100 Perfect virtual one. The Fire Summit stands for Forging Innovation in Rural Education. Nearly 300 educators from across the region gathered to share and learn new techniques and information to advance education for kids in and out of the classroom. For the first time in the summit's history, 30 Transition Innovation Learning Grants will connect regular education and special education to work together. Lisa Ammerman, a special education teacher in Lee County, says this type of grant has impacted her kids' futures.
My kids, especially with the welding program, it is a motivator for a real world career.
The 4 sessions yesterday included transition innovation, building it forward, micro-credentials, and activating catalytic transformation. Yesterday was Kentucky Gives Day, a 24-hour online giving event for nonprofits across the state of Kentucky. WYMT's Lacey Roberts talked with one nonprofit in Knott County and tells us why Kentucky Gives Day will help some for a lifetime.
It is a day to support nonprofits in the work that they do for the community.
Large amounts, small amounts, any amount at all is what's important.
Not-for-profits are what makes healthy communities.
Tapping into local knowledge allows nonprofits to know what a community needs, especially since there are less government resources.
And so they serve a really critical part in both the economics as well as the mobility and giving voice to people.
Here at Hyman Settlement School, donations raised will go towards their dyslexia summer program. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, they are going virtual and need money for new equipment.
Many of them have not been able to have the tutoring that they need over the last several months, weeks, while school has been out of session.
That means missing out on the importance of one-on-one communication.
We're raising money to be able to get the equipment and the software to be able to give every child a laptop, a headset.
Connecting remotely helps them stay on track.
It's so important that students are reading on grade level by 3rd grade. And should we need to do it this fall and into the future, we're going to have that equipment.
To ensure academic success for their futures. In Hindman, Lacey Roberts, WYMT Mountain News.
This will be the 43rd year that the Hindman Settlement School will host a summer dyslexia program. Some of you might be familiar with our very own Brandon Robinson's Gray Matters 5K. The race was supposed to be this Saturday, but due to the coronavirus, the race has now been postponed to August 22nd. The third annual race will now be a night race, kicking off at 7 p.m. in downtown Whitesburg. And although the race won't be during Brain Cancer Awareness Month, the Robinson family is still excited.
But I mean, our race day that morning, now that night, it's magical for us. It really is. People, I mean, everybody comes together and it just goes off without a hitch, and you get to see people that you might not see a lot. We have a lot of out-of-towners come in. It's just the environment. I mean, it's electric. So we're really anxious for it.
The proceeds for this year's race go to ICANN services in Letcher County and to the Team Colton DIPG Foundation based in Breathitt County. For the link to sign up for the race, you can visit our website, WYMT.com. Signature Healthcare announced yesterday that 32 people diagnosed with COVID-19 at the Jackson Manor nursing home have recovered from the virus. 67 cases have been reported at the Jackson County facility. Of those, 40 are seniors and 27 are staff members. Additionally, the company says the facility has not had any new positive cases from patients in the last 12 days. 21 of the staff members have also recovered and returned to work. Even though the CDC says only one negative COVID-19 test is needed, Jackson Manor is requiring 2 negative tests before people can return to work. Just ahead on Mountain News this morning, organizers with the Kentucky State Fair announced their plans for this year's event.
It's a dreary day ahead, but conditions will improve quite nicely as we head toward the end of the week. I'll have the details in about 3 minutes.